So you are on with Jenna and Ethan. Who is this?
Hey, this is Chewey.
Hey, Chewey, how are you?
Hi, Chewey. I like your
Good.
name.
Hey, Jenna.
And hi, Rick.
Real quick, we've only got a couple minutes left, but
Okay.
we'd love to hear you.
Oh, okay. I'll be super quick then, and maybe I'll just give you the topic, and I'll take the response off
Sure.
the call here. But it was relationships and mental health, and like my the guy who you were speaking to before, you were saying maybe he should have a podcast of his own. He touched on something that's really meant a lot to me, and that's what drove me to call. Was we have a unrealistic expectation of what relationships should be like, and they're kind of like Disney parts. They're happily ever after, and things will always be good. And eventually, you'll just be standing in a sunset on a mountaintop forever, la-di-da. Right. And it seems like I feel like I've gotten over that expectation, but a lot of the dating and stuff that I do seems to like that's what everybody's after. And I am a bit of a loner. Like I'm pretty good at being single and chilling out, and I like my space and stuff. So it's hard to like find the balance between the finding a mate that has the expectation that it doesn't have to be like we're gonna be together forever and we'll do everything together and we'll pose on Facebook together, and me not wanting that, like, well, I do want a relationship with somebody, but I want a realistic one. And so perhaps just whatever you think about that, like where to find, how to be clear about that expectation without turning somebody off, etc.
Absolutely. I think that the best way to do that is to be upfront about it from the get-go. And so that's kind of like we were talking about with an addict, is to exhibit the behavior that you want to see. I would say the same thing in this situation. Show the person that you want what you want to see, which, for example, when they start doing something that you don't approve of, that, you know, they're doing selfies and you think that that's just unnecessary, to say, you know, I don't take selfies, but it's okay that you do, you know, but it's just not me. And so maybe, you know, if you do that enough, people can start seeing that and start doing that on their own. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like accepting, if you can accept them, they can begin to accept you. And I'm not assuming that you don't accept them. I'm just wondering if this makes any sense.
Right. Yeah. Right. I wouldn't be like, you know, knocking down any attempt to have, you know, to be the way that they're going to be. But even finding the compromise room, like that overlap in a relationship, it seems hard. I'm kind of in a, I don't know, I live in the South, and like, I don't know, in my town at least, it's pretty conservative, and like the people that have to choose. There's a definite cultural mentality of like everybody's got their. I don't mean to like sound negative, but like their live, laugh, love, and everybody's taking perfect pictures, and you know what I'm saying, like all these perfect lines at the front.
Yeah.
Anyway, I try to just be more clear up front and like, hey, you know, these are the ways that I think, and I wouldn't stop somebody from taking a selfie. I would take a picture with somebody, but yeah, being clear about it seems like the idea of the happily ever after thing is kind of poisonous overall, and it's the alternative is not clearly defined yet, and maybe it doesn't need to be necessarily clearly defined as a stereotype, but I think a lot of people struggle with that. Like they're raised thinking that this is the thing you need to have, and like when they don't get it, and they hardly ever do, because people are, you know, we're people, it's hard to work out things. That's when you have all these struggles with relationships. You're like, why isn't this being a Disney movie? Why isn't this, you know? I've gotten real comfortable with it, and like, you know, me living my day-to-day life like I do, not having that expectation. I've had breakups or whatever where they're like, yeah, this isn't, we're not on a cruise ship staring off into the ocean or whatever 24/7, so something must be wrong, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
Anyway, just wanted to get that off my chest.
No, thank you for sharing that. I think it's totally legit that a lot of people don't live on this planet, so to speak.
Right.
You know, but it's actually, I have a tattoo on my foot that says happily ever after.
Really?
No, well.
I got it 2 days after my wedding with my best friend. Sorry?
So, well, we all want that to happen, and certainly find ourselves in long stints of contentment, you know, and fruitful living. But yeah, I think there's just something. I mean, I've suffered through it earlier in my life too, where just you have a certain expectation that like the last guy said, it really struck a chord with me was we think that we're working towards something where eventually we'll just put our feet up and like it'll be this, but it is constant work. Like the idea of constantly working on things and watching things evolve all the way through our lives, and eventually everything will come to an end, and being at peace with that. You know, I think we don't have a culture that's really at peace with our mortality entirely and the fact that it's constant work. But that's all.
Awesome. Well, I do, Chewey. We do have to wrap up here. We are over time. I do appreciate you calling us again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jenna. Have a good day.
You too. Yeah, it is constant work. And happily ever after isn't a prince coming and rescuing you on a white horse.